Oh, here we go. Well, this is a little video about how to remove your bulkhead in your bathroom and install a light. So most people, when I go to their house and they ask me about their shower and their silly bulkhead that they have, they're under the impression that there's something structural going on here, or there's mechanical being run in here. There's a need to make a box, okay? They're used to thinking like when I renovate a basement, I've got ductwork, I make a box. These stupid things, 99 out of 100, are absolutely hollow shells, all right? So you need to know this. All they really did here is drop in a fake ceiling to remove the amount of ceiling in here so they don't have to use that much tile. That's it. Drywall is cheaper than tile. Simple math, builders make money, and they try to create this whole designer look, right? But what you have is a shower head that's way too low for the average teenage boy. Let's be honest. I mean, my house, they're 6'4". They have the shower crouched over like this. And so what we do is we just come up here and rip out some drywall, folks. It's usually just one great big piece, and if you jiggle and wiggle, it'll pop off the screws. Whoop, bah. There we go. And if we're smart, we'll leave that corner bead right where it is. There we go. Take it down in one piece. Let's go have a look in here. There are two things I want to do in this bulkhead area. One is I want to raise the height because I'm going to be putting in a 6x6 tumbled travertine marble, and that's going to be amazing, and I don't want to have to be cutting the darn things down. So I'm going to make this full 72 inches from the tub surface. The second is I want to reframe it a little bit because I want to put a center pot light in, and I don't want to have this in the way. And when I go to drill in my pot light, I don't want to lose the structure that this provides my ceiling. I don't want to have a piece of drywall just hanging here without support. So we're going to remove this, put in a couple new pieces, and we're going to mark off our level for 72 inches here off of our tub. We're going to mark it, and then we're going to cut the existing drywall and add a new piece of lumber and just restructure. Piece of cake, 5 minutes and done. And then we're going to just pop a hole here, and we're going to fish our wire right up into the attic, about 3 or 4 feet of it, so that when the electrician comes, he can take that wire over to the fan housing, pass it into the electrics box, and then from down here he can get on a pedestal and he can open up the fan, make the connection, so when you flip on the switch, the fan and the shower light operate at the same time. Piece of cake. This box is actually the perfect size. It's just at the wrong height. So we're going to take all of this out and we're going to reinstall it. Now I just realized 20 years ago a carpenter probably had this in his mouth. How disgusting is that? All right. This only costs a couple of bucks for another 2x4. But if I just take the minute to pull these nails out, I've already got a box that's measured, cut, everything's perfect. All I gotta do is shove it back up a little bit higher. There we go. Love my stiletto. Once we've removed all the fasteners, should pop off pretty easily. Okay. £1,000 worth of shear strength on nails. This is where buying the right kind of light fixture comes in real handy. We're going to put in a pot light here, and we only have 6 inches to our ceiling. But I'm not using a can, I'm using a low voltage, slimline design LED fit for water, wet areas, and all I'm gonna do, put a hole here into my attic, and I'm gonna fish a bunch of this wire up into the attic. That way I can close up and be ready to keep going. And I'll have the electrician pop by, and he can run up into the attic, and he can run this over to the fan and make the connection. That way everything is all legal. Now, if you're a homeowner and you want to do this yourself, you can. Just remember, you're going to need to get yourself an inspection from ESA, and they might come by and ask you what you did. They might want to probably see this roughed in before you close. So organize your time, make that phone call in advance. All right, there we go. Ready to drywall. Boom. Off camera, Max asked me the $1 million question. He goes, any reason you're using the blue? Because we're going to be using a waterproofing system in here. And the answer to that question is, yeah, the reason is it's a shower. We're going to use drywall and a waterproofing system that is a roll-on membrane. And so whenever I'm using a shower system, if I have a membrane system that I think isn't going to last a bazillion years, I want to use this kind of drywall, okay? Bottom line, for the whole shower, it costs an extra 20 bucks. And if I can get 10 years more out of a shower for another $20, you know, don't ask me why they don't use it all the time, but I sure don't mind using quality materials. So I put a couple of screws in place where I knew the wood was going to be. Yes, got it. Now, we have our ceiling. Yay, it's in place. Our wire's there, and we know that we're going to be putting our light in center line of the shower head, middle of the tub. We've moved the wood, so now we can cut this after the fact. I'll wait until I have the fixture here. It has a little template. I'll draw it out, and I'll cut it perfect. So, other than the electrician's job and me hooking that up when we're done, we now have a raised bulkhead, so we have height and light. Okay, so we're back here, and today we are going to cut the hole for the installation of our light. I have the electrician scheduled to come in tomorrow, and so I have to have a hole. And here's the thing. I have the right to have the electrician make my hole for me. But in my experience, you're rolling the dice. I mean, 50-50. They get it in the right spot, or they make the hole the right size. So I like to take care of that sort of thing myself, and that way I never have any surprises on the job. So I am using the Amax light. This is a slim design LED pot light. It's brilliant. This company, it's got a nice, cool, warm light to it. Now here it is. You pull this bad boy out, and it shows you in the diagram on the back here. They got a template. You can cut that out. All right. It's for 3 7/8 hole. That's your template. I'm a cheat. I'm going to show you a secret. The front of the box has a hole already in it. And if you measure that off, it's 3 7/8. I use that as my template. I don't like cutting templates out of the box. They already give you one. Figure that. All right? So, we set the framing in this ceiling to be exactly center on the shower system. All right? So I'm going to measure off 13.5. All right? About there. Doo-doo-doo. All right, so that's about where I want it. There's my center line. And center of this is 58, 25, 29 underneath. There's my center line, okay? So now that I've got that put together, I'm gonna hold this box up. I'll put that spot right in the middle. And I will trace this. Because we're dealing with drywall and my template is exactly 3 7/8, I'm going to cut on the outside of my line. Here, let me show an explanation. The overhang on this fixture is almost 1/2 inch. There's a little bit of give and take here. Since we have that much flexibility, we're going to cut just a little bit bigger than we need to. The slimline design lights always have a box that gets wired to that just barely gets through the hole. So if you cut it too tight, you're going to be fighting with it and you risk breaking your drywall when you stick it in the hole. So we are just going to, like we use a drywall saw, it's all about speed, not force, okay? When you get near the end, make sure you're cutting the finish on an upward saw. If there's still a little bit of paper left, back it down and pull it and then cut up moving forward. If you cut it, the last little bit of paper on the downward motion, you risk tearing the paper on the ceiling, and then you're right back to patching and paring all over again. And there we go. There's my hole. Now, if we did our job right, we should find our wire. Oh, we got a ton of wire up here, don't we? All right. We should have one end. There it is. Now the rest of this wire is just extra because he's going to be the lucky guy to go up into the attic and feed it over to our fan. And we're going to just tie into that power there, so that way every time somebody comes in here and they want to use a shower light, they're going to use the fan. You're more prone in a large family to have people using a fan if it's attached to the shower light. That way it helps maintain your nice dry environment and you don't get mold. All right. There we go. There we go. So we're all prepped up and ready to go. Next time we come back, we're going to see this all finished. Today, all I've got to do is just finish up some grout work and add the mud work. I'm going to paint the ceiling, and then he's going to take care of wiring that light up for us. All good. So there we go. We're all done showing you how to remove the bulkhead that was sitting here just a little over 7 feet. Now we got more height and a light. And of course we were able to raise our shower head. So instead of it being right here in front of your face, now it's above your head, which will make a much more enjoyable experience, especially if you're tall like my kids. Okay, so if you like this kind of content, tips and tricks to renovate your home, give us a thumbs up. If you got questions about renovations in your house, put them in the comments below. We answer them every day. Talk to you soon.